secrets of different bills. At Uncle Demon, you need it, I got it listed here. You wanna make it, I'll show you just how to make it here. I got all the rarest bills, and I ain't done yet. Went from the finish to making bills like a prospect. Flow space and slashes to catching us with a lot of threat. You keep the medals cause the right one's coming up next. Only scratch the surface, still they try to drag my name in dirt. They try to bring me down, see me winning, you ain't like me then.
Alright, so today I want to get in some depth with these center builds. And a lot of y'all have asked me, yo, what's the best height for a center? And for me, I believe that 6'8", 6'11", and 7'1", and of course 7'4", but I'm not talking about 7'4s because I feel like they've been, played out. If you want to know about a 7'4", I dropped some 7'4" videos, but from a competitive standpoint, 7'4s aren't really that great. Okay, they're really good for shooting, but if you want to be utilizing a build for comp pro-am and that type of deal, you're rarely gonna see a comp pro-am team with a 7'4" build, right? It's either gonna be most likely a 6'11" or a 7'1", and then you'll see a 6'8" also, right? And I'm going to start off with the 6'8" because each one, 6'8", 6'11", and 7'1", has their strengths and weaknesses, and I'm going to show you what that is. Okay, now for a 6'8" center, the big advantage that this is going to have is that it's going to be able to help in the pick and roll, right? So you usually see like this 6'8" center that's going to be utilized more so at the power forward position. But if you play a lot of random rec and that type of deal, you can be comfortable using this build as the center. And then if you're playing with a competitive pro-am team, then you can just slide him over at the power forward position, helping the P and roll. That's why I love so much about this build, because it's extremely versatile. So again, and these are just templates, right? Just ways that I made my 6'8", but you can, mess around with this and make it different ways. But as you're going to see, again, like I said, your 6'11" and your 7'1" are not going to be able to do this. They're not going to be able to have an 85 perimeter defense. They're not going to be able to have these high steal and that type of deal, right? I always try to go for the 99 rebound, defensive rebound. So that's why you see that. And, you always rock out with that. You got to be able to shoot with your build. You always want to have a high pass accuracy, at least 87, to work with your cat breakers. Okay. So this is basically, I always go 75, 80 because I want to make sure I can get that, the sharpshooter takeover just in case, right? So there's certain things you want to have. Okay. You do not need to have a 91 brick wall. It doesn't really matter, but I utilize that because obviously it helps with the move enforcer, getting that badge, but just really surface, right? You're going to see that a 6'8" gets good perimeter defense, good speed, right? 6'11", 7'1" is not going to do that. Versatile in the pick and roll. Can play the power forward position in comps arenas, and can also be really good in random rec, or just rec, right? Just less competitive. All right. Basic stuff here, 65 driving dunk, 48. You're going to see why this build is so versatile because we're going to head over and take a look at the cat breakers, okay? So this is what's going to go as you see the locking board table setter. What I'm going to show you here is really going to blow your mind, okay? Now, a lot of people don't know about this, and so you're basically about to get first-hand experience of something that you can be like, what the hell? All right, so we know how 6'8s are broken with cat breakers. Well, same thing for this one, all right? So let's come down here, and you will see you will be able to get a 75 speed with ball with an 86 ball handle. Okay, so yes, all of a sudden with just 8 cat breakers, you're able to turn this center build that can get a 99 defensive rebound, okay, 91 strength to set screens, 85 perimeter defense. All of a sudden you can just turn this build into something to where you can have even more fun in the rec with this, or in competitive arena like a pro-am, if you really just want to just mess around and have the ability to, go from setting the screen, all that type stuff, to then getting the dunks, right? Same thing. Remember, this is all cracked. This is broken, okay? This is what I like to use with my builds, because if you make this build, you can be rest assured by season 9, you'll have, close to 20 cat breakers, and you'll be able to get all the ball handle, the speed with ball, the defensive rebound, and then of course, the driving dunk, get that 84 driving dunk. All right, driving layup, get that 80 mid-range shot if you wanted to. This is what makes the 6'8 so crazy, is because really truly utilizing the cap breakers, having the ability to dribble, which is 6'11" and 7'1", obviously you're not going to be able to do. So that's the reason why I love this 6'8" build. Okay, so that's what a 6'8" stands for. If that's something you're looking for, then make the 6'8". The 6'8" is versatile, right? Now let's take a look at and again, I'm just going to come down here. You can see all these builds I got. Now let's take a look at my 6'11", right here. And what you're going to see is that, okay, now you say, what's 6'11" for? 6'11", this is where a lot of people use it competitively. Like the 6'11" is starting to become like the go-to for comp pro-am, right? At the center position. And again, we're going to show the cap breakers. First, let's just look here, all right? 89 driving dunk. Well, let's show the cap breakers. Let's do it. At 89 driving dunk with the ability to be able to get that 93, right? You already have the 88 vert. Just the downside is the strength, right? You have 75 speed, but you only have an 80 strength, right? You still can get a 99 defensive rebound. Okay, you have the 93 block, the 62 perimeter defense, the 60 steal, 82 interior, right? But as usual, focus on getting your 10 cap breakers here first, right? That's going to give you the 80 mid-range shot and the 78 three ball. So you have and then from there, you still have the 87 pass accuracy. And again, you can do this crack stuff here for the speed ball, but that's not what you're going to do. If you want to do that, just go with the 6'8". What's going to get this build is just that it's going to be able to shoot the three, be able to good mid-range, and then you already have the 90 standing dunk for elite contact dunks, but then you'll be able to have that 93. I would say do this last because what you really want to do first and foremost, and even this defensive rebound, right? The 94 is good enough to start off with. Focus on getting your three-point shot in your mid-range. Use your first 10 cap breakers here. Why? Because what I did was with my build, when I had I used the cap breakers on my Shaq build, and I had a 75 three ball, but then I didn't have much of a mid-range, and I wasn't really able to do some of the things I really want to do in the mid-range because I didn't have it. And I was like, dang, if I could do it over, I would make sure that my cap breakers were broken like this to where I can have a high mid-range. So with the 80 mid-range shot and a 78 three ball, now all of a sudden I'm able to shoot no matter where I'm at, mid-range, three-point shot, and then I can start working on building up my driving dunk and my defensive rebound. But this is what a lot of individuals are going to want to use that have been using in comp. They might do it a little differently. They might make some tweaks here and there, but to have the ability to have a high driving dunk, be able to get elite driving dunk, elite standing dunk, you're not able to do that unless you're 6'8". Now, let's go back to, again, real quick about the dribbling. Some people want to get that ability to dribble that can really cheese it. So that's what it was: 46, 56, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. So that's 64. It's kind of one off from 65. And again, if that's something you want to do, by all means, you can do it. I wouldn't recommend doing that. Same thing for your ball handle. You can get a really decent ball handle. That's what 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 4, 69, 70 ball. You can get a 70 ball handle right here, which again will open up a lot. So I can see people that will want to do something like this, to have that 70 ball handle, get that 65 speed with ball, 64 speed with ball, and be able to do some things, But from a competitive game standpoint for comp, then obviously you just want to focus on a three-point shot in the mid-range. But what I'm getting at is that, the 6'8" has the strength, the 6'11 is going to have the strengths, so you can just pick and choose which way you want to go to. Use these type of builds that I'm making right here, because these are builds that are saved up. I'm going to make these builds, all right? And of course that 99, all right? And then we'll come back to the old reliable 7'1", all right? Now, we talked about everything else. Now we're going to look at the 7'1". The 7'1" is just basically playing. What the advantage it has is that it's just going to be taller than the 6'11", and it's going to keep it stronger. It's going to be slower, right? So now you see this has a 60 speed, okay? But this one does have a 91 strength, a 77 vert. You still can get that 99 defensive rebound, okay? The 84 block, 82 interior, 62 for the move enforcer, 60 steal for interceptor, right? Same exact thing here. You want to make sure you get your mid-range and your three-point shot on this build. And as you see here, this one has post control and a close shot, an 80 driving layup, an 80 driving dunk with a 90 standing dunk. More ability to work in the post. You would need to use 2 cap breakers here just to get that post up pulled on gold. But again, if you tell me, and again, 87 pass accuracy. What should I focus on first? Get your shooting. Always, always, always get your shooting. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to have, again, an 82 mid-range and an 83 ball. And now you'll have that still a really good post, really good close shot. Like this, it's cracked, right? It's cracked. Like this is a really crazy build. And all these builds will be able to have the ability that you see here. That's 87, 88, 89, 991, 92, 93, 94, 95. This gives you a 96 pass accuracy if you wanted to do that. Okay? Like there's a lot about this build that I like, but it's just that from the standpoint of the reason why this would be amazing for rec, by the way. Amazing for rec. It would still be really good for Pro-Am. It's just that more and more people are preferring the 611, but this one right here is the same exact one. I have my Shaq build that I am now going to delete that and use this as my Shaq build right here, and I'm going to break this because I want to have that mid-range shot. But as you can see, 6'8" has its strengths, 6'11" has its strengths, and 7'1" has their strengths. And this is not just like, I'm not telling you this is the way to go. What I'm giving you is just like a spreadsheet, just some data points that you can take in consideration when you're making it. But again, it's always good to try to use your cap breakers on the shooting aspect and focus everything else. Focus, your rebounding high, your stealing that, and your finishing and your defense. Because once you do that, the cap breakers will just come crazy clutch on the shooting. If you try to do all your shooting first and then all that other type of deal, you're going to miss out. Trust me. This is the best way to utilize your cap breakers is just to throw it in your shootings, okay? But this is what I feel, the 6'8", 6'11", and 7'1", the strengths and weaknesses of it. I'm very curious to know what y'all think. Do y'all feel like I'm missing a height that's actually better than the 6'8", the 6'11", or the 7'1"? Obviously, 7'4" has its place in random rec and in that type of deal, but I just don't necessarily think it's good for competitive, and I don't want to lead y'all astray because them 7'4" are too slow. They get cooked on defense like all day, every day. And as they keep doing patches and you can't just shoot over people, you're gonna have to be a lot more skilled to be able to have that 7'4" doing what you want. Okay, but other than that, these are my 3 heights that I think are clutch. Pros and cons. Y'all leave in the comment section how y'all feel. But as usual, this is your favorite old head, Uncle Demi, and I'll be back really, really soon on the banger, man. When I say back soon on the banger, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tomorrow, man. I'm out.